Hi,
My
name
is
Salman
and
Marie
Vercruyssen.
Vercruyssen.
We
Are
improvisers.
so
We
are
going
to
talk
about
improv.
and
Our
experience
in
stand up.
comedy. Rushdi, man, I just got back from the dentist and I just finished my root canal and it's paining and I just feel like I need a new life and my jaw is.
You know what time it is?
Is it for me? You to listen to my chat and
You know what time it is?
I don't know what time it is.
It's no time.
It's no time.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Johnstone had once said, people with dull lives often think that their lives are dull by chance. In reality, everyone chooses more or less what kind of events will happen to them by their conscious patterns of blocking and yielding. So pretty aggressive, but we'll explore this first.
Word.
If everyone consciously chooses their path in life, you said words, so Mary, you're going to start now.
Oh, God.
Nice.
If everyone consciously chooses their path in life, then why did you consciously choose a life that's devoted to theater, the performing arts, improv, stand-up comedy? What do these art forms mean to you? What do they represent?
Yeah, come on, Marie.
Improv means so much to me. I think psychologically, it's made me a better person because before I did improv, I was very structured and controlled. As soon as I did improv, I realized it's okay to make a mistake. You sent us an email about what we're going to do in this podcast. I did not read it because I'm like, it's going to be much better if we improvise it because it'll create more pressure and stress on me if I try to remember everything. And I think that that's what improv has taught me, is that it's okay to make mistakes. And sometimes the most beautiful things come from being present in the moment. And I think a lot of people struggle when they're not present in the moment and they're scared of the failure. So improv to me means a lot. It's changed who I am and it's changed my path in life massively.
I saw her come in to join the theater when.
17.
How old were you? 17.
Yeah.
Not just
Straight out of high school.
Straight out of high school, and I think the good thing was she was talented as well, so she jumped in. And I know it's really funny that you say she's very structured about things, but you took to improv like fish takes to water. Is that what the saying is?
I do love swimming.
Fish takes to
Yeah.
position.
I
Fish
like
takes
swimming a
Turtle
lot.
fish
take to
tanks.
straw.
Yeah, or takes to a plate in a fish restaurant. I don't know, but
Horses take to hay.
Biryani
hey,
take to
do
brown
horses
people.
go
Yes.
hey?
Biryani take to
Or
brown.
Pakistanis take to biryani. Yeah,
Even Indians like biryani. But you know what? Yeah.
Indians too.
We're not here to debate
Yeah,
that.
you won the
We can't-
cricket match.
We can't solve
Just
this
let us
problem.
have the biryani.
Yeah, we're
You
not
can
here to
have-
solve all the problems.
You can have biryani. But yeah, we'll definitely explore how it's changed your life. What are the benefits of improv? 10 points for going first, by the way.
Thank
We're-
you.
wait,
What
we're
do I
scoring
get
this.
for the points?
100%. What do you?
Competition.
Do I
You guys are
get
taking
10
this too
Lego
lightly.
pieces?
There's trophies, there's gifts.
I'm
there's so
going to
many
take
prizes.
10 Lego
We need to
pieces.
tell you got 3 improvisers together. Did you really expect us to be prepared for this?
This is how exactly
I'm
how I
taking
wanted
10
it to be. In
pieces
fact, I
of Lego,
sent you the
yeah?
outline so you don't read it.
It's all just gibberish.
I apologize. I totally missed.
Rushdi, let's talk about this as well. So what is comedy? What is stand-up? What is improv, theater, performing arts? What do they mean? What do they represent for you?
If someone told you not to do it, would you?
Yeah, who's interviewing who? Wait, what?
If someone told you not to do it, would you do it?
Yeah, part of me would, I think.
Exactly. That's the part it is.
That's so true, though.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's so deep.
Any questions?
I honestly feel half the time with improvisers, if you tell someone don't do this, they will do it.
Yeah. They will.
I like it short, concise.
If anyone
Conveyed
wants,
so
I'm
much.
selling an ebook for $1.99, and the rest of the answer is there.
I'm so embarrassed. Like I just thought it was fun and I got into it because of that. Like I have no deep reason about how it changed me.
Oh, how you got
I-
into improv?
Into improv. I just saw it as a fun thing and my friend was doing it and we kind of just there's an old friend of mine and we just kind of started doing it at parties without not improv theater but just mucking about. And then there was an improv stuff coming around and we just both egged each other on to try it. And it was just fun for me. It was literally just to do something.
For me, I loved theater and acting, but I hated learning lines.
That
I
was a big
really
part.
hate learning lines with a passion. It's so frustrating. It takes learning lines takes all the joy out of literally theater to me, literally. Yeah. And then when I didn't even know improv is a thing. And then when I found out improv is a thing, I was like, wow, this fixes all my problems that I had with theater.
I don't know if you grew up watching Whose Line Is It anyway.
No, I didn't. I only started watching it after I joined here.
Right. No, I grew up on it. That old.
I grew up with that.
Yeah, it was in the 90s. It was the mid 90s or something that
Born
it came
in the
out.
90s.
Yes, exactly. So
There were
probably
reruns
allowed.
that happened in the
Reruns. Yes, yeah.
You can still watch it online. If
You
required.
can. And I think I
It's
watched
still
it.
going.
And so improv was something I kind of knew from there, which most people do. But I didn't think until you don't see real people do something like role model it, it's a vague idea of a show or something. And I think for us, that was a big thing.
I want to dive into the journeys you guys have taken as well. All Gulf kids, right? And I feel the Gulf kid story is not represented well enough, so I'm going to change that today. You also have the unique advantage of watching culture develop in a city, which is harder to do in an older, established city. So, Salman, we start with you. You just mentioned it. You first got into stand-up because you're getting bored with the corporate HR life. All your friends are getting married, having kids. You watched Saad Haroon perform. You thought, this is something I want to do.
It was the first. No, it was more like, are we brown people are allowed to do this? Like, it was literally that. Like, it was,
This is also in the Constitution.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not confined to being an accountant. This is great.
What?
I want to get your thoughts on the evolution of the scene. You started off with a gig at a birthday party for a staggering amount of 300 dirhams, which
Yeah, that was my first paid gig.
Wow, he knows
not the
it
first time
so
I did
well.
stand up. Yeah,
He
but I
knows it was
forgot. Where did you
staggering.
find this? That's
Yeah,
a
well,
very
how did
old
he
story.
find-
you know what?
That's an old story.
Stalker vibes.
Wait till you see the quality of my research. I've written
my
down
goodness.
Rushdi likes stealing blankets from flights.
That's true.
I don't
You're
even
like
know
a
that.
mentalist.
That's
We're
publicly
engaged.
publicly available information.
That is on his
I promote
Wikipedia,
it.
actually.
Yeah,
I feel like
promote it.
you are engaged.
Professional blanket stealer. Also got Zinga Matafi combos. For,
Yes,
you
that
can see
is-
the
There's
quality
not
of my
much
research.
about me
That
online
is
though.
amazing.
It tanks down after a
It's
while.
like having a
That's
chat
okay.
with
That's enough.
ChatGPT in real
Right?
life. This is
It's the
crazy.
human manifestation.
No.
What do you know
Okay,
about
well
me?
done. That was
Now
my
I'm
pick.
curious.
How
I'm
about we
hard to
get through
find.
Salman's journey first?
Okay.
Because Sal's
yeah,
now
so-
feeling guilty. He's like,
I'll correct. My
after-
first stand-up was in a small open mic in Connecticut. And that's not really, I don't talk about it because it was terrible.
You're starting with the first paid gig.
Yeah.
The professional performance at the kids' birthday party. And from there, you picked up momentum. You launched Dubai Laughing. In newspapers, you said you launched a quote-unquote underground comedy scene, launched the UAE Comedy Awards. And then
Yes, we did at that
Yeah.
time.
And then you were here when the Courtyard started. You helped build the corporate training program. Consistently been one of the top comedians in the region. So what has it been
right.
like?
Don't you two forget that.
I've never seen the studies. I want to see all the evidence.
But I said
And then we can
consistently been
decide.
one of
One
them.
of them,
So
yeah.
who are the
So I want to
others?
see all the other information.
What was it like when you started, and how has it changed over the last few years?
It was bizarre when it started. We had so much worry about what's allowed, what's not. Venues didn't know how to put up they had no idea what a stand-up gig is. So you'd walk in and they wouldn't have a working mic and they'd be like, it's okay. And you're like, no, it's the one thing we need. So we were this ground zero. Like there was just nothing. And it was also scary back then. It was this whole fear of like, what are we allowed to say live? There's a lot of confusion, gray areas from the government as well. So we kind of erred on the side of safety. Like if that was the boundary, we were like here. No one's like going close to the boundary. If you
In
were,
terms of what you can say.
yeah. Language, anything, and even the producers would check your scripts before you. Oh yeah, like there's a famous story. I think you know this. I don't think you know this. I won't name him, but he was producing one of the nights, the MC as well, and he'd get everyone's scripts like we all did. And then there's a new guy who sent him his jokes, and he cut them out. He said, "You can't do this, can't do this." But when he went on to introduce him, he said, "All right, so this next guy is new." And this is what he was about to say, right?
Whoa.
And he goes and he gets a laugh. So he read off all the stuff and got laughs and
For
had cut
him
it
with
out.
his
And then went,
jokes?
all right, off you go. After doing his best bits that were censored.
Love it.
And the poor guy, the first time, we never saw him again. He never did
I
stand-up
wonder
again.
why.
Yeah. So we started there, and you were lucky if you had a gig once a month somewhere. You had to go out and do it yourself, and there's nothing really. It was very unknown. It's bizarre.
Rushdi, I want to bring your thoughts into the evolution as well, without the
lots of
post-it
thoughts.
notes this time, hopefully.
Let's see if they don't help me.
So you're also Gulf kid. I think went to Al Diafa Arab Unity. Schools that have notoriously churned out comedians every year.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't met.
I
any
don't know
of them.
this.
The studies are there. I'll send you the
Maybe
links.
not of my caliber because I failed multiple classes. Takes skill.
After school, also you had the best starting point for any comedian, accountancy.
Did I? Oh,
So multiple
yes.
great starting points. So what I want to get from you is one, why did you pick stand-up comedy? And then how did the scene develop for you as well? You're also one of the top comics in the region.
You
What
looked
was
at
it
him
like
while
before?
you said that. That was for me, right?
Checking with you if he's allowed to be in that category.
It's fine. It's fine.
Is he allowed in the Hall of
Okay.
Fame, the Mount Rushmore? So what has it been like to watch stand-up comedy? Has it changed over the last few years? What is it like before? What is it like now?
Was the question what?
Don't go for it. No.
The question is, see, it's like falling off a bike. You're on the bike. You're living your life. You're on your path. You're on your career. Once the bike falls, you got to make a decision. Are you going to fix the bike? Are you going to change the bike? Are you going to use it differently? So when I was living my life as an accountant, I fell off the bike from the metaphor before. And now I found a new bike. And the new bike is I can do what I want. I make mistakes. People tell me what's wrong and they they tell me what to do to fix it. And I try again. And then I fall off that bike. Then I get another bike. The whole thing is the art scene over here is not curated. There are no comedy clubs that you can train and people. This place is the only one they have the same advice over and over and over. Anywhere else you go, it's different. And I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but I'm like, if you want to get good in an art form, you go to a place that has a syllabus and has a structure and has people who've been working there for more than 5 years. It has developed based on the schools and the communities of art, theater, stand-up, performing arts. That's why there's a large performing arts segment, or rather, should I say, drama and acting. And then there's a large improv segment. And then the stand-up comedy is kind of like scattered. To me, Dubai Laughing was the only one that did it very, very black and white. It wasn't about, they never said bring people and bring. Everything is a bringer show now because of the amount of stand-ups. And when it was Dubai Laughing, it was a small group of people who used to work on it together all the time. Now there are too many people and too many things travel fast.
Diluted.
Yeah, the sense of community is a little less with the
I
expansion.
wouldn't say diluted, I'm saying
but
saturated.
It's a pain point, right, of growth. So that's a tricky one that you're talking about. Like, how do you keep everyone together and at the same time, more people, coming in and starting their own nights and everything.
Yeah, you probably only see this in cities where it's such a new scene, right? You're getting to see that first growing.
Yeah,
things.
in fact, what you said, do you remember Dean Obeidullah from Axis of Evil? So he came down this is 2009 or 10 when the scene was starting out. And he said something at that time. He ran a workshop and he said, you guys have something special in terms of a nice group where everyone is helping each other write and everything. And he said, that's not the case back home. He's in the US and he said, it's cutthroat. And I used to think, well, I'll never be like that here. We're all friends and everything. And as it grows, his words came true. He kind of warned us about the coming time. It was true. Yeah.
Marie, I want to get your thoughts on the evolution of the improv scene as well. Like you mentioned, hated memorizing lines at Jumeirah College. So improv felt a lot more natural to you.
Jumeirah College? Nice.
Yes, Jumeirah College.
Are you guys also finding
It's like they're falling in love again with each other.
And then you said when you joined the Korea Playhouse first as an intern, you've just grown through the ranks since then. Now you manage the entire theater. So what was it like when you started off? Did you see similar growing pains with the improv as well? Has it changed over the last few years?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I joined, even just the company, we only had, two, we had the owners and then one full-time staff member, and I was the third one. So it was the owners, Kemsey and Tiff, and then Kylie, which is literally Tiff's sister. So it's very much a family business. And then I joined and I was like the fourth employee. So it was very tiny. I mean, Niraj was here again.
Sorry to interrupt. There were nights where the maestro, we were struggling to get enough people to play it. And there were moments where we had to get the actors who were not performing to run up to tech.
Yeah, run up to tech and come back and forth. So it was, because in terms of full-time team, there was not a lot. Everything was very volunteer, community driven. Like Salman said, the maestros would literally be run by the community, people who wanted to be there. And I think since then, we've obviously come a long way. Where now on Maestro nights, we have 4 full-time staff members scheduled in to make sure that it's running. So that's definitely really changed. And I think similarly with stand-up, I'm sure that it has also kind of grown in the sense that before it was just pretty much the Courtyard Playhouse doing improv. And I think it's been that way until I think 1 or 2 years ago where people have now started trying to branch out a little bit and start their own groups here and there. So
I think improv has in one sense, a lower barrier for entry in terms of performers. Stand-up, you have to write jokes and they have to be a certain caliber, and it takes a while to get to that. Improv, you can kind of put on a decent show even if you're just starting out and have some.
I think with improv,
confident
there's
people.
more foundation to kind of support you. Like in a Maestro, for example, if you have performers who are more new, we'll put them in a game like No S or conduct a story, and they're kind of like not foolproof, but they definitely will make a newer performer do a decent job. Whereas with stand-up, I think the difference between stand-up and improv, and that's why I love improv, is you're never alone in improv. You have this cast and this community and these people that are supporting you. Unless you have a really horrible group of people performing that night, there's always someone who will have your back. And in stand-up, it's literally, here's a mic, here's a stage, enjoy. And you're there by yourself. Whereas in improv, there's a director to support you, there's a scene partner, there's always someone there to help you. And I think
creating
that's
together.
Yeah, and I think that's really beautiful. Like you're literally creating and shaping the scene together. And if you make a mistake, you just laugh about it later. Like I've seen a lot of, me and Salman have done horrible scenes. I remember the first scene I did with Salman, I have to tell the story. So I remember the first Maestro I played, I think I was 17, the owner was directing, and I knew that Salman was this amazing performer. I was like, whoa, he's such a good improviser.
And the owner was a great director.
Yeah, owner is a great director, and I'm like, wow, So my number, because in Maestro, it's numbers that get pulled out, my number gets pulled out, and I'm like, yes, I'm in with Salman. Like, this is going to be the best scene ever. We jump on stage, we're super excited, and then Kemsley, the owner, is like, I have an amazing idea. I'm going to make you guys hold 2 stars.
He changed it.
Yeah, he changed it. First, we were just going to do a normal scene about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'm going to make you hold 2 stars. And these 2 audience members are going to do the scene
These
the stars.
These stars were on like long sticks.
Yeah. So we're just literally holding a star. That's all we're doing. And the scene was horrendous. It was the worst scene ever. We got scored a 1. And if anything, the audience didn't even clap for 1.
I've never seen a 1, by the way.
Oh, really?
Well, we
scored a 1, and honestly, they hardly even clapped for that. They were like, it was so bad, it doesn't deserve a score. Yeah. So like that happened, and we were like, oh, okay. So I mean, but like those are the scenes you remember, because we've done a bunch of scenes that were like 5 and amazing scenes. We only remember the bad ones because they're, and in a good way. Like it's funny. It's not like, man, we sucked. We're like, we sucked.
Good to know you two are notorious for having one of the few one scored scenes in
Oh, no,
Maestro.
there is a lot of ones. We also PowerPoint. Anytime we do PowerPoint,
You have to highlight
we do
that
so bad.
Yes.
It's
yes.
so
There's
bad.
This
another-
is a personal kryptonite for you, right? It's a weakness, the PowerPoint list. You know what? We've been talking about improv. So now that we've covered the journeys,
I want to add one more thing. There's the flip side of improv, though. It's more restrictive in where you, at least for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like theater is so important for improv, for me, for my
I
personal
agree.
form. And stand-up can still be
Yeah,
kind of...
stand-up you can take to a bar, corporate gig. I think every time, it's possible, but the room, this is what I feel. I feel we are extremely lucky to have this venue because improv is done around the world in bars, in those ballroom settings. And that's where improv gets a notorious bad rep of being like, oh, it's improv again, because they can't control the environment. We're so lucky to have this venue that we can control everything from the lighting to the sound to how the audience comes in. We know if there's an improv show in here, it's usually going to be good. There might be nights where, it's just a really rough cast, but it's usually going to be good. Controlling it in an outside setting like a bar is very difficult because for us, we need lighting, sound, mics. Whereas stand-up, you need a good mic and preferably a stage, and you can kind of go from there. So the thing what Sal says is stand-up is it's more portable. Whereas improv, at least for the standard we're used to, we prefer not to move it.
definitely want to explore all of these deeply. But before we do that, I think we've been talking about improv. It's important to start our Improv 101 masterclass, Improv for Dummies. I'm going to ask you a very stupid question. This is going to be the first of many. Anyone can take this, but 10 points for the person who gets this question. What is improv?
Improv is acting without a script.
You want my answer I give to corporate?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
let's do it. Let's hear it.
Improv is a way of life.
Oh.
No, actually,
I know this
that's
video.
not- I forgot.
No, you start like that.
No, I'll come back to you. You go first.
Me?
You said improv is a
What?
Acting without a script.
What is improv?
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
I'm interested to know now.
That's a narrow theater version of it.
I think the dummy way to explain it.
It's as simple as slicing bread. Bread, back in the day, used to arrive as a loaf. You have to do something to make it work. That's improv. Knowing how to be in that scenario and add something instead of be a nuisance. That's improv.
I think it's just learning to go with what's happening and take control and lose control and see what can be created together. That's my larger, description of improv.
That's your philosophy.
I think it is. I think it is. It is that you have to change how you are. Improv is something that forces you to try things in a different way. If you're a perfectionist, you have to let go. If you're too laid back, you have to learn to take control. So it's really being adjustable to what is going on around you and working with it.
10 points for Salman.
That's right.
I think
Can get
10
a
points to
level,
all
please?
of you.
Which color
I think
points would
combined.
you like?
Don't be so nice.
Okay, you know what? 11 to Salman,
Yes.
10 to the rest of you.
11? Oh,
I
I
think
had 3
combined we
pieces.
have a
I reached double
definition.
digits.
more points. Wait, I
Each
got
point
points?
is a Lego?
I don't know. I've
You
just
got
been giving
these here.
myself Lego points.
Yeah, but
I like this.
that's not how it works, but okay.
Try telling that
You
to
know-
improvisers.
Welcome
It is
to
now. We
Silent
just talked about being agile, man.
Gosh,
The thing about
adapt,
Legos,
man.
you actually have to put them together. But you know what? We'll get to it.
Yeah, now I have 10 Legos I can play with.
That's nice.
Before I didn't have any.
You know what? I'm happy for you, Marie. Okay,
Thank you.
next
I'm happy for me too.
next dumb question for another 10 points.
Okay.
And we
Dumb
have already alluded to this in the previous question, I guess. But what's the point of it? Why make up things? What are the benefits?
Oh,
What
I
are
have a
some
good
skills
answer.
you develop that might help you both in your personal life and your professional?
I think improv makes you a better human being. And I genuinely believe that. I say it a lot. And I think even just watching improv, like I was doing an interview on Monday with Dubai One, and we're talking about improv and stand-up comedy and stuff. And I think that I love stand-up comedy; it's amazing. But I think that there's a lot of pressure on stand-up, and you can go watch a bad night and stuff. With improv, it's always very human. Like you're watching, the things you're laughing at is not a badumch. It's not a moment. It's not like a joke that's been written. It's a moment that you can't replicate. It's human. It's people showing their vulnerability, not being afraid to make mistakes. And I think it makes it very relatable. And I think if you are a good improviser, I genuinely believe this 100% because if you're a good improviser, I believe this 100% because I've traveled for improv. I've gone to festivals. The people, I've never had a bad experience in a country when I've been traveling with improvisers because they are good humans. Whether you stay at their house or you go out with them somewhere.
Is it also because they're generally poorer? Poorer people are
Poor people are happier.
nicer.
But
Get all
because
Benefits of
the
improv, you won't be
philosophies
rich.
because the philosophies of being a good improviser is be present, say yes, and support your partner. They're all things that make good human beings. So I think that, like, to me, like I genuinely believe that. I know we say it a lot because we're trying to sell workshops and stuff, but I genuinely believe that.
I mean, it's tricky. It's a tool, isn't it? And there are some people who take the angle of focusing on adulation. And so you do see some people initially become greedy and want stealing the spotlight. So the opposite of what we might consider a good improviser. But I think in the long term, people do realize, was it Patty Styles who came and told us, or Sean, one of the two Keith's disciples, came and told us that watch whether people want to play with you. And that stayed with me a lot, that do people actually want to jump into scenes with you, want to play with you? And if they're not, then you have to ask why. And usually it's because you're being a selfish player. You're not truly being collaborative. And that is a big chat. So I think it's a tool that can sharpen you up. But there's also the simple thing that we live life improvised.
Yeah, literally, life is improvised. And I think anyone that tries to live life not improvised is going to have a very difficult time. And once you get used to, like, you know, things going wrong and being okay with things going wrong. Like I have lots of friends, and the friends who are like, every time something goes wrong, they're literally to start crying and like destroyed. I'm like, you need to do some improv, man, because things will go wrong, and it's not even going wrong. It's just something else has happened. You know, let's go with the flow. I think a lot of people really struggle to go with the flow. I also struggle to go with the flow. I like to plan things where possible, but the improviser in me at least is there to support me when it doesn't go according to plan.
Exactly. You know, I think it stops you from learning because you are, and I see this over and over again, you could become like a successful leader and then they're kind of stuck in this one place and they're not rising above that level. And it's because they can't let go and jump and try the new thing. You'll see resistance from them all the time. If they come to learn to be better presenters, they're great to some extent, but they're not going to the next level because they'll go, no, just tell me a technique that I can apply give me a format. Do I ask a question first to the person? I literally have had people say that to me. Or do I smile for it? They
But
want.
even just trying to explain how improv helps in corporate training is so difficult to explain to people because it depends on the corporation. There's a lot of new companies who are very like open-minded and they understand. But then there's other companies who will be like, could you please send me a 5-page breakdown of every minute of every exercise? And the great thing that we do, and which Salman's amazing at, is in the trainings, is being adaptable. If you come in and you see the group is actually really bad at one thing, we're going to adjust the exercises to focus on that thing. But some companies are not okay knowing that that's necessary in that moment.
Yeah.
And they get there eventually. Because once they do it once, they're like, oh my God, that was amazing.
That's true. I think in the beginning days with the corporate was a lot tougher and more resistance. And I think obviously you gain from experience as well. And you lean in. Okay, I get that you want to apply this back in the workplace. So we also have adjusted things. But it's cool. Like, you know, there's slightly less resistance. So I think in general, people have discovered that even high level executives are looking at improv to up their game.
Rushdi, benefits of improv?
You're lucky I don't have a posted that. I'm gonna say.
You might have to actually give the answer.
Wow, amazing. Amazing question. The benefits of improv. As someone who worked 10 years in an industry that tells you what to do, tick box approach, sign a paper, get approved by someone, I'm like, improv allows you to create whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want. And your partners are forced to accept your idea. I think it's a great way to express something or try something you haven't done before. And depending on the group and your own feeling towards it, because most people were told whatever idea they had the first time or a style or whether it's painting, music, they're like, it sucks or I don't like it and no one will like it. I think that's something people hear often. And if you are dedicated enough, keep trying. And improv allows you to do that over and over, reiterations, show styles. You learn from a live audience that gives you feedback. Because in improv, what we say is connect, engage with your audience, all these sorts of things. You get to learn because even I was really rough around the edges. I'm still rough around in the center, but it was the edges. And then seeing Salman perform, I was like, oh, there's a way to communicate with the audience. And that's like in the stand-up scene right now, everyone's just like attacking the audience. I have never gone to a venue to watch a show to be attacked, like to be told about the way I look or the way I sound. Or my thing is, I want to go to a show and enjoy it. Improv to me is the ability for strangers to entertain me without knowing them, without wanting to like them or not like them. Because when you see celebrities, you're very forgiving. Like in the moment, everyone loves them live. But we're not those people. So we're trying to show the best of our art form. And this connection between audience and performer is like amazing.
In a Hangout of the Rushdi episode, both you and Salman spoke about the power of confidence and like the straight line that connects improv with confidence. The moment people start seeing that line, you can see the benefits in everything in your life.
There's one thing that this theater really took to heart was about what you just said, Rushdi, about taking care of the audience. And that was such a big learning for me as well, that you don't have to be mean and attack them and rather incorporate them. And it was a skill that I think we do so well here now and push. And it really stands out for me when you go to not just stand-up, even improv nights where I've gone and I'm just cringing at how rough they treat them. Yeah, it just puts me off.
We have to deal with like the side effects of that because people, when we ask them to come to our like evenings, we're always like, oh, come along. They're like, oh, no, I've went to a stand-up. I didn't feel comfortable. It's like, no. It's not like that. We would never make someone come on stage or target someone in the audience. Like we really take care of them.
Front row.
And then once they've come, they're like, oh my gosh, okay, I feel so much more comfortable now. But yeah. People, because we give out seating cards. So sometimes people are forced to sit in the front row and they're like, oh, please, I don't want a front row seat anymore. That was like 2 years ago. Now it's much better. No one feels that anymore, but yeah.
It's a beautiful thing, but I think it challenged us as artists to, rather than cheap laughs. And that's another thing that I think is a very Keith Johnstone type of work is you kind of are trying to find truth and build on that. And it's harder. It's easy to go for cheap laughs. And occasionally some of us do. I'm not going to name names.
Salman.
I don't like taking my own name.
Yeah, I do it.
But I think it has been growth as an artist to have to go, okay, we're taking, and I still remember the first Valentine, we did this format for a Valentine show. Were you in that one? You guys? Sean's first one, yeah. And to this date, that was about 10 years ago, I still run into people who go, oh, I was there at that show. And it's incredible because it was so truthful.
Yeah,
And
it wasn't very funny. It was just
Yeah.
we got couples on stage and we had
I don't know. My bits were funny, but
Speak for
couples,
yourself.
couples were on stage and we got them to tell us about their love stories and we recreated scenes and stuff from it. But I think one thing that actually happens a lot, like the format that we're talking about, which Sean Kinley taught us, is actually a very difficult format to do, where you interview audience members and you bring it to life. And we trained for a long time on it. But now, like as improv branches out, people think that, oh yeah, I can just do that. People who have never like really done it before, been trained on it. And then people get really, audience members go, oh no, that was really uncomfortable. I didn't enjoy being on stage. So that kind of like puts a little bit of a bitter taste in people's mouths about that kind of.
it's diluted even within, obviously, but outside it's like, ooh, you're
Let's
not.
explore these techniques that you brought up. You brought up Keith Johnstone multiple times. So the most common reaction to good improv often is it has to be scripted, right? There are a lot. Many times I've got.
We used to get that.
Oh, right.
quite-
Yeah. People saying it. You scripted that, right? Yeah.
When I've watched Whose Line Is It Anyway as well, the first reaction as young was it has to be scripted. Something so good, it just cannot be improvised. When I've got people here, invariably at some point they're going to ask you, oh, you know what? They might have come with some idea of the character in mind, or they might have discussed what scene they want to play. That's the first reaction people have when they watch good improv. And conversely, when they watch bad improv, they just justify it by saying, oh, well, it was just improvised on the spot. So I'm going to bust both myths because there's clearly technique, there's method to the madness behind it. There are different schools of thought in improv. At times, they don't overlap. This theater is a disciple of Keith Johnstone's work, who might have positioned improv as maybe sports and games, as compared to maybe someone like Del Close, who might have positioned improv as a work of art. So I want to expand these. What are the different techniques? What are the different schools of thought in improv, different philosophies?
I think they overlap in loads of ways, personally. But if you're talking about techniques, what was the earlier thing you said about what you want out of this? No, sorry.
The audience going like this must have been.
Oh, the audience going. You know what was an interesting thing that we did was at the beginning, you almost felt like we have to ask a suggestion from the audience to prove that this is improvised. And at some point, again, I can't remember who told us, they said, they will say it or they won't say it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to go out of your way to prove that. And you don't have to take the first suggestion they give you just because you want to prove it's improvised. It is or it isn't. We had one performer, Michelle. Were you there when Michelle was around? Yeah. Syrian dude who went to the States. So Michelle's mom came and watched. His own mom came and watched for years and refused to believe that it was not rehearsed. So there's no point leading into trying to prove. Personally, I don't think you have to go out of your way to prove it. And that's where we went as a philosophy in the theater. And surprisingly, it reduced people going, is this planned?
How do you describe Keith Johnstone's techniques and his philosophy?
Marie.
I think Keith Johnston is very much
She's
about
met
the.
Keith, by the way.
Yeah, wow.
Nice.
Keith, I think Keith is very much about just the very like the brutal, honest reality of improv. Moving away from showbiz. That's a lot of what Keith is about. And also, there's a lot of formats that he's created that allows different levels of players, different levels of experience to mix together, which I think is really great. I think when I compare what we do to what other places in the world do, who are more Del Close and the other schools of thought, is it's very systemized. They've systemized improvisation. So, for example, when I went to a festival somewhere, I think it was in Greece. Oh God, I don't think anyone's going to watch. Whatever. In Greece, I mean, they have like a whole program where
I have a massive Greek audience.
oh shit.
I don't know why.
That's his primary audience.
It's
That's
gonna be
my only
subtitled in
demographic.
Greek.
It's
This is sponsored by a Greek yogurt company.
no.
All just tuned out being like,
So so basically what they do is like the first year you are not allowed to step foot on stage, but you do a whole year of improvisation. The second year you can have one show and you have to do a whole year of improvisation. Third year, so you have to do 3 years of lessons.
I thought that was a myth.
No, this is really a thing.
Because I've heard about
this
of
is
different
Keith's
schools.
work or this is a separate
No, not Keith's
start?
work.
Okay, this is
not Keith's work. And it's like 3 years you have to really work hard to even be allowed to step foot on stage and perform. And we really and what Keith is like, it's like you can have someone do one improv class and be amazing because it's a muscle that you practice. And some people already have that mindset and that muscle. You can do one workshop and be an amazing performer.
Can you be
where
born with it?
It definitely can be something that's more instinctual to you. Like I think,
Personality-wise.
yeah, personality-wise, and like some people come in and they don't have that fear of failure, just genetically or the way they were raised, and that's already one less hurdle we need to get. Like as teachers, we need to
Or
figure
someone
out.
might be a good listener.
Yeah. So the way that we do our workshops is one course you have to take. That's Don't Panic. And that's introducing you to our fundamentals of improv. Even if you've done improv in the States, the way we practice improv, Keith Johnstone, is very different. So we need to 6 weeks, literally 2 hours once a week for 6 weeks.
What's the difference?
It's very much, we're all about failure is okay. It's okay to make mistakes. That's one of the main things that we really focus on. That's not as massively focused on. And there's a lot of formats that are practiced, like for example, in the US, like, oh God, what are the names of them?
The Harold.
And stuff.
the
No,
Armando.
we don't really like, we don't really do those. We don't touch on that. Our things are Maestro, a Keith Johnstone format.
We did it very early
We
on.
tried it.
Just a side note, history was we did try the UCB format, which is heightening. We tried Harold. We did actually try it a couple of times, and I think probably led by Kempsey. We found Keith's work to. You said systematic, structured, within a certain structure to play within it, and I think most. Even Harold is some kind of structure in that
Yeah, it's very
sense.
structured. I think what I was going to say is, so like you do one course and then from there on you can take other courses like story, spirit, but there's no structure and we don't stop you from signing up to be able to perform. I mean, the casting director
Oh yeah,
chooses
people
at
jump
the end of the
in
day.
to shows.
But I think also because we're in Dubai, we kind of have to have this system because, like for example, if you're in a country where you're going to be there for 3 years and then after 3 years you can start performing, that's awesome. But Dubai is so transient that in 3 years from now, to be very honest, the people that would be with us are going to be completely different because they would have left Dubai, new people would have come in.
That's how we really stay on top. Everyone leaves.
That's why we're the best.
Learning a lot.
No one
Okay, so
else is
leave,
remaining.
be poor.
Yeah,
This is gonna make a
This
good
is
improv.
great. No, she's absolutely. I don't know. I think even if people weren't leaving Dubai that much, I think we personally do like challenging people to just jump on and stuff. I don't think we would like to keep people off for 3 years off stage. Generally, I hope not that we wouldn't go that
No,
way.
it's a little. I
It's
feel like it's
weird
a
to
little
me.
systematic, as in like you could have an amazing performer and still tell them, nope, you got to wait 2 more years. Well, why would you do that?
That is so weird. I like the fact that sometimes
Can you stop dissing the Greek audience?
No, it's not just them.
They're in the
It's-
middle
No,
of
no,
the
so
third year right now.
I've
and
heard about
they're
this.
just like, oh, why are we doing this?
No, I've heard this in the US as well with some improv clubs. So I thought it was a myth or over exaggerated thing.
Because people come to us and they're like, because if you've only done improv with us, like some people be like, oh my God, I only got to perform twice this month. This is so sad. I'm like, and then some of them actually travel and they move to Canada. We have a friend of ours, Tarek, he moved to Canada. He can vouch for how crazy different the systems there are. He came back and he's like, you guys are giving so many people so many opportunities to perform. This is amazing because when I was in Canada, oh my goodness, it was so hard. So like, it really is very different the way that we do stuff.
Yeah, stage time does matter. Rushdi, what techniques, philosophies, schools of thought work for you? Yeah, it's a what question.
Actually, the thing
You
I
forgot
have-
to say it's
I
a great question.
I have 2 friends. No, that's in filler.
That's in?
I have filler
Filler.
section. Keith Johnstone is the perfect example for what will work in Dubai, because different people, different mindsets, different ages, different traumas, PTSD levels. The thing about Keith Johnstone is be obvious, be average, be boring. I remembered the last part, but I wanted to make it look like I was adding. But
No, but
these 3
Nicely
things,
done.
No, he's real though. I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people can't take you
So
seriously
these
now.
3 things, if anyone can do this, you can improvise. Doesn't mean you're good, doesn't mean you're bad. But if you can be average, if you can be obvious and
Boring.
boring,
No, I'm
And-
serious.
They are such a married couple already.
if you can do these 3 things, you can improvise. And once you achieve these things, we can move on to the next lesson.
At times, I feel like there's a contradiction between these different schools of thought, because with
Oh, yeah, there
Keith
is.
Johnstone, there is be obvious, be average,
There
be,
is no,
Boring.
I
be
don't-
boring.
they don't know this.
I don't think there's so much contradiction. There's actually more overlap. I think the style that is very different is that Keith's work is also very director reliant, a lot of the formats. And so it is kind of protected in that sense. And then when you go further out towards like Harold or UCB, the director goes away and it's a whole...
Lucky for you, Salman, I got receipts, because in the book,
What did I say before?
in the book Improv, Keith Johnstone says be obvious, be average, be
Boring.
boring. But in Truth and Comedy, Del Close says don't go with your first thought. Go with your third thought, because the first thought is often superficial. The second thought is a bit too critical. The third thought is when you've internalized. So Keith Johnston's saying be obvious, be average, just make the first choice. The interaction matters more. Del Close is saying, you know what, take a moment to just go with your third thought.
I disagree with Del Close here.
No, but
I'll let him
once,
know.
I don't disagree with either. Or we've done some exercises to go when you're building instinct in new players, and I think that also matters. I was going to say skill
Depends
level.
on who you're teaching.
Yeah, but skill level as well. So if you're doing if you're doing Keith Johnston's work, you can play it with newer people who need to learn to let go and be instinctual.
And go with their first
Yeah,
thought.
then you're looking at Harold and stuff, and I wouldn't put perform. You know, in the States, particularly where it probably originated, right? You have people who've got much more background in theater and blah blah blah. We get people coming in, joining
Corporate background.
This is like their
Yeah.
first time on stage. They've never done any acting. They've never done
Even in school, it wasn't.
Even in school, no. You grew up in the Middle East, there was no theater. Now they do, but now, back in the day, it wasn't. It was the morning assembly where you read off a poem and
Today's
hoped you
kids
weren't
won't know.
Yeah. They don't know the struggles we went through. So I think that's a big change. And also how we understand things. If you're a beginner, even Keith stuff about yes and, it's literally saying yes to everything. But as you progress, you kind of go, it's the
guidelines,
philosophy.
not rules.
Yeah, and the philosophy behind it is to create a safe environment with your performer.
To
trying
build
adjust
on
and
the
go.
scene.
Yeah, that's the essence of it. But newcomers will take it practically and go, yes, and
I think for us, because we spend so much time, like Sal said, teaching new people who this is their first time ever being introduced to this. Like, that's why I
have
think,
to remind
which
myself
is,
in classes.
Yeah, which is why we use Keith's philosophies, because if we were to say to those new people, oh, go with your third thought, it would make their fear of failure so much worse, because they'd be in their head going, oh, not that one, not that one, this one. So you deal with so many brand new people that, like, I'm just giving a colleague advice the other day, because she was like, what do I do if I don't know what to do? I'm like, literally, the first thing that comes into your head, just do it. Do anything, do it. So I think, that we really focus on
building
new
blocks,
people.
right?
And like Rushdi was saying, we have those formats like Maestro, which work beautifully in Dubai because you have experienced players mixed with brand new players, and they work so well together.
Yeah.
And you need that for a place like
Yeah.
Dubai, where you
And
don't
you-
have everyone that's experienced.
Over and over, we've seen a natural evolution of people who come in, start performing, and then they get to a certain level and they start going, let's create our own formats. The four of us will perform, and so on and so forth. But you need that first skill building.
Yeah.
You got to know the rules before you start breaking them.
It's
You
a good
got to
starter
build
point.
your strengths. Yeah.
I don't think this region will ever have a Del Close / Saturday Night Live / Whose Line Is It Anyway format.
Why?
The numbers. Whenever we perform, the nationalities are above 20. We're not performing to one age, mindset, race. Like, it's always a diverse room. So Keith's way of starting off something simple, whether it's a family scene, a park, a beach, whatever, all that works. Whereas Del Close is a little bit more like we're in space and you're an astronaut and you're an angel and start, or that abstract. And it works for an ensemble who's who knows each other well and are mentally like hive mindset.
When you think about
Otherwise,
it,
it's very difficult.
the
Like,
Who's
you
Line
can't-
guys have been performing together for like 25 years. I mean, there is a group of us who have been performing together for a long time, but even then, the times that we actually align our calendars is like once in a blue moon.
And
I think
we do different shows and there are different training methods. And I mean, if they're doing film noir improvise, everyone's talking in an accent. So that takes about a month, 2 months.
so. The
you
kind
know.
of stuff that we specialize in, that we do, that's very different from our regular stuff, is our genre nights. And we do them very sparsely because we want to do them properly. Like Rushdi said, we do film noir improvised, we do Jane Austen improvised, we do Sing It, which is happening in October. Yeah, the
right.
improvised musical. We need to start high-fiving because we're the ones who like really bring down the energy. Because we're
I would
really
bring
bad,
them down.
ink, it's
They're
to
like
sing it.
really bad singers. Really bad singers.
Talent we have.
They have passion.
But I also watch out for. I don't think we even make it up at passion.
Just take it, man. He can edit it. He
But
can
I
edit
think
it to make it
context
look-
is important too with these things. Like if you're talking about being obvious and stuff, they're also essentially talking about the same thing. I think when Del Close says, think of the third idea, he's talking to people going with the first idea, I'm trying to be clever. Yeah. Right? And they're like, there's a fish,
snap-
I'm going to
yeah, a
become
snappy
a
comment.
alien that eats fish. And you're like, what? So it's almost like going,
Trying to play to
listen.
the audience, maybe.
Yeah. Just I want to be out of the box. I want to be creative and stuff. And I think they're both kind of saying the same thing
Be
about
obvious.
be obvious and pick the next obvious thing in there. So necessarily context wise also what are you doing? Like, I think they mean the same thing.
Doesn't matter how you position improv, whether it's positioned as an art form or entertainment or sport, because in improv, Keith Johnstone says people think it's like show business, but it's actually just sporting games. Del Close has said, and Shana Halpern has said in Truth and Comedy, that improv exists in this limbo between art and sports. And Del made the observation that if you actually position your show as sport, the audience is a lot less critical of it. Whereas if you position the show as an art form, then the audience comes in with a certain expectation. Do you think that changes the entire tone if you're positioning it as sport for both performers and the audience?
I think somewhat.
I think it's all about how you position whatever you're doing. Like when we have a theater sports night, we always have a rookie match, and we position it very clearly to the audience that the next 20 minutes will be brand new performers who've never been here. So the audience immediately lowers their expectation. When we have a new performer joining on stage, we always tell the audience this person is performing for the first time. So you at least you get the audience on the same page that you're on, which is why when we do our genre nights, we do them so rarely, because when we do them, we really position it as a theater night. From the time you come in, to the music that's playing, to the costumes that the cast are wearing, the audience's expectation suddenly goes up, because you're like, okay, they're wearing costumes, we're expecting something big now. So I think it's always just being very honest and transparent with the audience about what expectations they should have, regardless of whether it's sport, theater.
I do. I lean towards sports for improv as well. The more I kind of do it and see it, I think the sport element is strong in it, and I like that aspect because the fun, when balanced right, when people come in with the right spirit and stuff, and they know it's a fake competition. But Keith also has always said the WWF thing, right?
Yeah.
And that is also important. It's a fake competition in terms of the fight, but the work you're doing is still skilled, and that has to still show. So personally, I don't know what your preference is. I like the sport bit more than the...
It depends on the show. So even like Marie said, and Sal's right, it has to be a balance. Because I think another very common thing is people think me and Sal are always trying to be funny. The thing is, it's very easy for us to be funny, but we don't remember the funny scenes. We remember the scenes where it was silent, grounded, there was a ooh and R from the audience. And that's usually story, character, or, when I say using emotions, we're aware that emotions exist in stories. So the idea is that if we see the opening, we'll take it. And if it's something dumb or like, when I say dumb, I just mean an easy joke, we'll take it, but we can keep pushing. That's what I feel like. Even if it's funny, we can keep doing the scene, because even in weird moments, sad, confusing, whatever, like there are moments of honesty and, openness.
And then some people lean into the art forms. They think it has to be not entertaining to be artful or arty.
Has to be intellectual, has to be sophisticated.
Yeah. And I just...
No, there was one scene where me and Sal, I remember there was a line in the center of the stage for some reason. And then we asked, where are we? And they said, no, it was down the middle. So probably a showcase or something. But they said Pakistan and India border. So we both played, there we go. See, this is the reaction immediately. It's visceral. It's oof, how they, and I don't know what the audience expected, but I know like me and Sal are quite connected. So even if one of us go too far, the other can pull it back. We're playing a game not only for the audience, but for each other as well. We know the lame jokes or the quick jokes or the low-hanging fruit. We didn't cross the line, the border. And we had a conversation and we had a discussion, and then in the end, obviously everyone is in sync. Everyone is like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And then I said, let's cross. Let's see what happens. Because it's a scary thought. I don't know. I've never been there. And then we did a countdown. Are you sure? We did these little dramatic pauses. And then we both changed sides and then quickly jumped back. And we're like, oh, nothing happened. It's fine. And then the lights went down. That's it. Now, what people take away or reflect on that story is like their thing. But for us to create that in the moment, I was very pleased. And again, when someone says Pakistan, India, the first reaction, they go, oof. That whole reaction of, oh my God, something's going to happen. We didn't do anything. Two guys on the border having a conversation. And I even said, what are you doing here? What am I doing here? Very general. It's not rocket science. It's not neither of us in the army. The whole idea is to explore that character / location / how they really feel. And I think that's why Keith would make more sense than Del Close, because Del Close, I don't know. I can't say where the story would go, but it would be more abstract and absurd and entertaining, but I wouldn't be able to keep up personally. And as an audience who's never seen improv, they would be like, I don't know what these guys are doing. Like, how did they?
There's a certain amount of education that's needed for that.
Not education. It's the, you know, if you're watching, like how Western people watch cricket, they're like, what are you guys watching? Is it the guys running? Is it the guy catching? Is it the guy
Oh
in the
my
audience?
God, yeah, what the hell?
There
are
we
you
go.
Where's the art
watching?
in
So
this,
for
yeah.
us, when we improvise, if
my
you
God.
know improv, you'll be like, that's skill, or you'll just be like, that's art. Because when I see them watch cricket, I'm like, do you know why they're celebrating? And she's like, they're happy. Like,
But that is a good point. I think that our audience is also like kind of is expecting a certain thing. Even when we do the genre nights like Jane Austen, we like struggle to get audience attendance because they want to see comedy, they want to see improv.
no, but I don't think Jane Austen is entertaining. So,
Whoa,
but
whoa, whoa, we're getting
Whoa.
controversial.
and this is the thing. I don't.
She's not watching. So I think you can
Jane
say
isn't
whatever you
watching.
like.
Oh,
But
I
they're
was hoping to
fans.
really
Yeah.
get into her. The thing about Jane Austen
diss
is
Jane Austen
my
as much.
the
sister.
5 people who come watch are
Yeah,
Jane
there we
Austen.
go. They are Jane Austen's descendants, probably. My sister loves Jane Austen, but did she come? Did she come? No, because she's like, I have sufficient Jane Austen.
In all your answers, you guys mentioned how this works particularly well for Dubai. So what role does the audience play? Vilos Polan had said that the audience is the last spoke on the wheel. They make the performance meaningful. Of course, they give you prompt suggestions. That's the direct influence. But so I had interviewed Armando Diaz on the show, the improv legend, the founder of the Armando format. And he had said, because he had helped create Second City and IO in Chicago, and then he founded UCB, The Pit, and Magnet in New York. He said, the audience that shows up in these cities has a personality of its own in general.
Oh, for sure.
In New York in particular, he said, it feels like the audience comes in, like they have a sense of self-importance or they have a certain expectation, and the performers then have to work harder to make them laugh. In Chicago, he says the audience that shows up feels a lot more grounded or humble. And he said maybe it's because of the weather, like it's too cold, you have to drive a long way. So it's much more relaxed. Also, he said the theater layout and the sizes, those influence the show as well, give it a personality. So we'll do the audience first. Can the audience as a whole have a personality or an energy or tone that you're trying to match? And if yes, what is the Dubai audience?
Oh, 100%. I think Dubai audiences, for me, have a certain type, I suppose.
What is it?
Most nights, they definitely love a laugh. And they're in this funny place where they're slightly intimidated, but very quick to get over it. So they'll really, most nights, we don't have to work too hard to get them going.
Yeah, I think a lot of the feedback that we get from the audience, and I think that is like a great way to also describe it, is from the second they walk in, they feel like they're not in Dubai anymore, and they kind of feel home, which is like the weirdest way to describe it. But I think
By different nationalities as well.
Yeah, but I think the reason they feel that is because our theater is very unlike, I think, other things in Dubai where everything is very like, polished and wow. And, people are very like, neutral. We're very, like, people
Wait a
come
second.
in,
Where's
we're
the
very
clean here?
warm.
Everything is polished.
It's
just for
clean,
the record.
but like it's very warm. It's very welcoming. You come in, the performers talk to you. At the end of our performances, we go into the audience. The performers, it's not like we're going backstage now because we're the actors. We have a chat to the audience members. It's very much a community, and I think people in Dubai, especially if people are new to Dubai, they really want to find something like that. It's like a home, a sense of community, a sense of a place to belong. And I think that's when people come to watch here, they're just happy to laugh, forget about their stress at work, and feel like they're in a nice place.
That's the thing. The number of times I've had people come up and go, "Hey, tough week," and blah blah, and it was just so nice to be here. Even when we've done things beyond just out and out laughter night, people say that a lot. Like
You mentioned in Love in Dubai interview that the audience that shows up in Dubai, they're a lot more supportive of the work
Of
you're doing.
course I
If they
did.
sense that you're doing something nice, they'll be there and they'll support you. Whereas in a place like
for
New
sure,
York,
they're
for
not
example,
jaded. I think New York is like they've watched so much, they're jaded.
the expectation is better be worth my time if I'm showing up in New York.
And they're
whereas in
used
Dubai.
to, you're exposed to there's like all levels there. So yeah, there's jadedness and expectation for sure. I think Dubai crowds are much more open to the experience. Some of them are watching a live improv stand-up show for the first
time ever.
So
And
they're
I
just
think
like, wow.
also when they find out about it, a lot of the time it's their first step into the creative aspect of Dubai, because Dubai has a creative scene. It is there, but it is like you need to tap into it. Like it's not easy to find. So I think a lot of the time it's their first time ever, and they're like, whoa, Dubai has a creative aspect. This is cool. And we have audience members who come back like 2 times a week sometimes just because they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I stick by what I said in that interview.
You like, if I could remember, it's what I stick to.
We let them know. We let Love in Dubai know. Rushdi?
3 types of audience members. 1, never been to a theater before, never seen live entertainment in this grounded form. 2nd, the people who I or we have to prove that we're quality and they're impressed. And then the 3rd one is where they love us and they can't get enough of us.
What's the makeup of the audience? Has that changed over the years? Initially, it would be people who have never watched, but now is it changing over time?
It's so transcended that there are so many people, and maybe honestly more than first timers in a theater, they'll tell us a story about how they watched it in New York, wherever, Afghanistan, doesn't matter. Like the
Improv
thing
scene in
is
Afghanistan is
where
thriving.
if they did, then they're like, I'm not hearing about it. They need better marketing. They're here now and they're like, oh, I didn't know this existed here. We're going to see you every week. Bye. And
Well, we
we
have
are
fellow
aware.
performers who come and watch each other's shows and stuff, which is also great.
I think now more than ever, though, because Dubai is such a hub for new people moving here, I think the demographic of our audience this season has been a lot of people who are like, how long have you been in Dubai? 1 week, 3 months. There's a lot of these new people, and they are just so happy to find something that's different because they've just come to Dubai. They're seeing all this flashy gold, expensive, oh my God. And they're like, okay, this
and then
is
they
nice.
see us
They
and
see
they're
us
like,
I can relate.
The opposite of everything I see.
People who
struggling
shop at
artists.
Viva.
yeah, poor people.
Viva customers. Yes. I have to go now. I have a meeting. My house fell on the side of the sofa. Goodbye.
Now that we can speak freely,
Correct.
and Marie's gone.
Yeah. Now the real
What are the
show.
real questions we
Now
want
the
to
real
ask?
episode starts. Yeah. So what do you think of cricket now? Not happening.
It's improvised.
Okay.
And
so
fixed.
we were talking about the audience. I want to get your thoughts on the theater itself. So Armando had also mentioned, because he founded so many theaters, he said in New York, for example, he noticed that because theaters are much smaller, stages are much smaller, it's inspired a different style of improv altogether, where there's more talking scenes, more standing around. Whereas in Chicago, because stages are much bigger, performers can just project a lot more, create grander scenes. Also, he said in New York, you're probably paying studios, you're renting studios by the hour, renting theaters, there's a high price, so there's a premium on time. So there's a certain zip to the improv that you see. Whereas in Chicago, it's a lot measured, laid back. There's a piano player sometimes, it's paced in that sense. So do you think that makes a difference? Do you think the size, shape of a theater, the amount of space you have, it can inspire a format altogether?
Yeah. I think it should. Like this stage is more. I guess we're more Chicago than New York in that sense, except for the price we charge. Cut that bit out.
That's going to stay.
I'm joking. You can keep it.
But it's true.
But
Just want to make sure we're not caught.
ideally, especially with the experienced performer, we have a big stage here, and it does inspire on some nights like really grand scenes, and then sometimes because of you can see the talking head kind of thing that you said, or more talking stuff.
scenes, just standing around.
Yeah,
don't build
that
as many
rigid
scenes.
ones can still happen because I think again it's a little bit of the skill level of performers might not be at that level to go. In fact, very recently, this year for Valentine's show, we had Tim Orr come in, and he's a San Francisco based, very experienced, amazing. Like he put on a show that had me nervous again. So it was a good challenge. But he made us do this one thing of walking around the theater and exploring the stage in different ways. And I hadn't done that in years. And it gave me a good refresher of going, yeah, we are blessed that way. Like
we barely use like that edge, even though we have so much
and we
space
could
to
create and it might inspire or give the audience a different angle. So we definitely should do more of it. Yeah. But the stage, it does influence it.
I think so, 100%. And the beauty of being here is we're allowed to move the lights. So we've done scenes. I've done bits where the light goes on an audience member. So I had an announcement that said, ladies and gentlemen, someone did not wash their hands after using the toilet. And the light just goes off on one guy. And I'm like, why did you do this to us? And it's a random stranger who
We're
I
just
don't
talking
know.
about taking care of the audience. but
Yeah.
Sometimes we break
And
the
we
rules.
give an
I
award.
wonder why they're intimidated when they come.
And we give an award to him for having the bravery. So that's the madness of that segment. But we do things like we go out of the windows. We've done scenes in the toilet with a mic. So we have this big stage. And I think because it comes from the owner, Kemsley, which is like, I want a big stage. And once he did that, he's like, now you guys learn how to use a big stage. And even that, still people are not loud enough. People don't use the stage enough. So you can see that these are some of the most common, popular problems that people have. And having this space allows us to explore even more. Because once we're off the stage, then we do scenes over there, then we do scenes, then we do outside. Like it does help create that sort of do more. Do more. Why are you here? Like, why are you just on the stage? Do more, try more. And this supports you completely because, I mean, even the tech booth, we have mics. Like, it never
Even when
ends.
we move, or the same us, if we move from this, and we've done a lot of bar improv, it changes how we're doing things. We do become ourselves more jokey, and it's more punchliney and all that kind of stuff. So it does influence performers
kind
and
of thing-
Same
audience.
performance, same format, but a different space just changes everything.
Yeah,
Because the
forces
tone
you.
at the top is over here. When you're an audience member, you don't get to use your phone. That's it. That's the standard. If you're on your phone, what happens is your face lights up, people start looking, and then someone says, hey, can you please put your phone away if it's an emergency? So that's the level, whereas in a bar, we're literally trying to be louder than all the people who may not be there for the, like, it's really
Yeah,
tough.
I'm in all the bars.
Yeah.
You know what the bar's like.
You know,
No,
you're the guy who's talking while
Yeah,
we're
you're
performing.
the guy who is the problem.
Yeah, and exactly what you mean. How do you build an endurance for regret in improv? There are two types of regret that I've experienced in improv. One is when you're performing and one is in the audience. Let's talk about the audience bit first. There are so many scenes where I watched something great. And I remember the first time I came to the courtyard, I think 7 years ago, Rushdi, you had a scene with Manju in which you were playing a cowboy, I think. You had a southern accent.
Wow.
And I think Manju was a detective and you were trying to hide a dead body in your garage.
Sounds
from
like a
him.
scene with Manju.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just remember that scene. It just left an imprint on me. There was a scene with Marie had in Neo Noir, which everything was going fine. And then she just spilled water on herself by mistake. And then the scene just derailed from there. I think the couch broke. Someone fell over the couch
my
and
God.
it became a scene. You both have created so many Bollywood improvised
Yeah.
in movies as well. And they live in your mind. But the problem is when I go back, I just feel like, oh, I'll never be able to watch those scenes again. I'll never be able to watch those characters again. Something that gave me so much joy. I can't come back and watch it. I can't even bring someone to watch it because it's gone, right? Is this a legitimate concern or am I talking crazy?
No. I think personally, it's bittersweet about live experiences. I both love it in the sense, even from a watching point of view, but it's also really nice, intimate thing, and maybe it's a reminder that we don't, some things are. It's like life. It was a moment in there, and we, whoever was here, I, even as a performer or audience member, I feel that very strongly that we had a moment, and that is very cool. But it can be, like I said, bittersweet, sad as well that you can't do it. But why not? We've got loads of Netflix stuff to go through. Yeah,
It's the only way for me. It is not repeatable. It's not replaceable. It's both sides. I don't have to think about it too much. It's disposed, and also there's someone who has gone home moved, and they cannot have it back. I like that.
It's a complete contrast to like stand-up, right? Which is more repeatable. Someone can come and watch you again the next night and listen to the same jokes.
I
and
think
really
it's
enjoy it.
to some extent.
Yeah,
To some
exactly.
extent. Till a certain amount, right? Even your favorite movie, how many times will you rewatch it? But I get what you said about like bringing someone. We've had people go, I brought my friend that, you last week's show.
and then
was
it's
great."
just
Like,
like-
yeah, it was
Because you're
great.
slightly nervous because I want them to have the same experience I had.
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
can't predict what's going to happen.
You can't.
right?
Absolutely.
I
can't.
mean, I've seen a person, someone came to catch a show, and they realized Sal wasn't there, and they left before the show started.
good
Because they're
reaction.
like, we came for Sal.
That was me. Damn it, I'm just leaving.
I'm sure it
It's-
happens, but
yeah, like
with
people come back
performers.
people come back to see. They hope they catch lightning again, because happiness is not as common as you think.
But I think that's beautiful. I know the audience might. I don't know whether it's a regret thing. I think it's more just learning. And even I know you were asking about the performer side as well. I don't know if I'm jumping into that.
You are.
Sorry. Okay, I'll
Minus
I'll
10 points.
Yeah, I had
Wow.
10. I had 11
I'll just, since you're going there, I'll just add the regret about the performer.
because
You've-
it blurred
you've-
for me.
Yeah, you've guessed it. It is as a performer, how do you train yourself to not regret not having made a choice, having said something in the scene? Now you have the benefit of hindsight, and now I could have said that and the scene would have been 10 times better. Do you have to train yourself specifically to do this?
Did you do anything specific, Rish?
Initially, I would just be upset all the time. So the flip side is I'm not upset anymore. And what I mean by that is it's me telling myself that I should have said this and blah, blah, blah. But we call these situations shoulda, coulda, woulda. Like there's nothing in control. I say I could have said that, then this person makes something up, this person makes something up. We don't have an audience. So my thing is, you said whatever you could say in the moment. Now we have to do notes and gauge whether that was the best option. Hindsight doesn't exist. What we're telling you is, you did this, next time try this, see you later.
But you have to train yourself
Well,
not to
it's-
reflect
it's
on it.
easier
notes.
said than done. I think part of it is just experience and going. In that moment, I made that choice. So I think for me, one of the shifts was focusing instead of on what I said and did in the scene, to focusing on the skill that I didn't practice in that moment. And I think that gives me something to go back to next time too. Because you won't have that exact same scene. So next time, if exactly he plays a cowboy and I'm a detective, I'll say this.
Did you follow the process or not? Or the,
Yeah. What was I listening at that point? Did I build something with the other person, or could we have acted out the scene a bit more? Could we have been a bit more physical? And I think changing my mindset to that changed my focus to driving home and going, should have said that.
There are times where we've done maybe like a 2-hour show, and then I go to Sal and I say, what happened in this part? I said this line, and he literally says, I don't know. Like, I was blank, I missed something, blah, and I just go, cool. Because what am I going to say? Listen better. He knows that he's literally saying, I got caught off guard. And that's what the person who is listening to that has to accept, because there's nothing else to say. And you have more times of connected than disconnected. And if it comes in for 5 minutes that he's disconnected, I'm like, that's great. Because the other time I felt good. And it makes sense. If you say, dude, I just slipped for 1 second, I'm like, that's fine.
It's the human
continue.
side of live performance, and particularly improv. Just want to add to what Rishi said is you can't become perfect at it forever, right? So you have to go back and on the second night, listen again. So even if yesterday I was listening great and we were connected, does not mean the second night life happens. I come in a bit more tired, and it's remembering, focusing on those things and going, you know what, maybe we forgot to chill out a little bit before. Maybe we got worked up and no one interrupted and balanced the energy out. And those things are the human part though. And I think the other thing, having done it for so long, was to let go that chasing perfection and chasing every night is successful, but just going, let's concentrate on tonight. Forget yesterday, forget that. What are we creating today? That for me is the other bittersweet part of it too. Because there are nights when you go back, and I'm more upset about, I knew I was not supportive of my partner today. I think those
I forgot
things,
the fundamentals.
the fundamentals, the skills, the reason why we're doing this work. I got greedy tonight, or I did become a bit showboaty, or I went, instead of finding that truthful moment,
For a cheap laugh.
for a cheap laugh, and those things hit me more than.
And this is, I think, a never-ending challenge for especially people like me and Sal, because we are doing this. We're purists. Like, sorry to speak on Sal's behalf, but he loves the arts. I love the arts. So when we go, like when we're doing something, we kind of have a plan, and we've done it 1,000 times, and we know where it's supposed to go. And then someone from the cast will just say, I'm just here to have fun. And then you go, are you on the same mentality as me? No, it's because they've worked 5 days, 9 to 5. They are having a tough time at work. They just want to be crazy. So you get these clash of energies, and then it's not about listening or yes-anding. It's about damage control. So every night is a little different. And just like Sal has performed one time, he got the vaccine, I don't know which one, and he was like half like COVID times. He was in a wheelchair. He did a 2-hour show in a wheelchair. And he stood up sometimes, but then he had to sit back down.
I
But
was
thing
post
is,
knee surgery.
there
The show
we
must
go.
go
So,
on.
Oh.
so double. He had knee surgery.
I was like,
and
which vaccine?
would
The
put,
Bill Gates
put your
one.
knee.
It's like
And,
they
The
pushed me outside.
microchip inside he
Which
was
is moving.
disabled him.
And we did it. And so I'm like, did Sal have to communicate more or this, that? No, the whole cast had to be like, this is Sal's like situation, and the show goes on, and we all managed to do it. No, it's not about complaints. It's, we were able to do it. But if someone wasn't ready to let go of something, how can we? No, the plan is he's in a wheelchair and he has to do the show. Because I asked him, can you do it? He said yes. Then I closed the curtain and I told everyone, guys, we'll have to carry Salman if we have to. Because he's saying yes. If he passes out on stage, someone call an ambulance, but the show is going on. Like, we're going to drag him through every scene.
We're glad you made it. Before we wrap up, I have to cover the business and economics of becoming a performer
The
in the
fun
region.
side.
The fun side. The problem is, I think this is a black box in the region. Nobody knows what hurdles you have to cross, whether it's a reasonable career. And what I want to do with both of you, you are on the Mount Rushmore of stand-up comics in the region. I want to make it slightly easier for aspiring comedians, performers, so that they actually have an idea of, okay, what can I expect? Like there's some transparency or some information they can have access to. In a Hangout with Rushdi episode, both of you spoke about the fact that passion is just not enough in this region to carry you forward. It just doesn't pay the bills. You guys also spoke about how sometimes performers won't even charge a fee, or they charge a very low fee, and that just hurts everyone. It demeans the entire art form. So let's get into the economics of it. When you're starting out, how much can you expect? At what point can you get enough to pay the bills? What's a trajectory you can be on? Can it ever be a primary occupation for you?
That's a very complicated question because it has changed over time. When I started out, we were getting easy money when you were less people as well. And as you
what was
mentioned,
easy money back?
I could get away with charging a corporate 10,000-15,000 dirhams for a gig.
This was back then.
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't huge quantity wise, but it was good money. Even if a big act came in and we opened for them, we got paid pretty decent money, 5K and above. And that has completely hit. Yeah, I think so. I think because, like we said in that episode, too many performers, for want of exposure and not knowing business sense, start doing it for free even. And you're like, okay, who are you going to pick? Free guy or this? And not many people are savvy producers-wise to go, he's a decent comic, he's not. So they take, price is a big point.
So if I'm starting as a comedian now, what's the starting rate? Free to perform for all?
Oh yeah.
I think that part is correct because when you're starting out something, especially like an art form like this, I don't care how good your first 5 minutes are, you need to learn a lot. So expecting to be paid early on is a little bit like, there's not many avenues except corporate shows to get paid for stand-up well. But I think someone should take the time, 6 months to a year at least in the beginning, to just go, I'm going to hit the local nights. I'm going to learn the skill. It's going to college. You don't get paid, you pay. And I think you pay here with time and effort. And then there are, I think, if you're smart about it and you're good about it, I think there are. We've kind of done different things to make money, but we've survived now 15 plus years and stuff, and somehow it's worked in different ways. And it's an evolving market. If you're talking about someone being super serious about doing comedy here, one of the things I do tell, and I regret not doing as much earlier on, is to travel and perform more. So don't just make Dubai your hub. You got to increase your market and skill set by traveling around more. So the initial, you have to invest a bit. You really do.
And then how many years can you expect get returns?
I don't think there's again, Rushdi, feel free to cut me in, whatever your suggestions are. My thing is there's no timeline for, this is very emotional. Timelines are different, not in terms of the first paid gig. I think
Development.
You might get picked up for, but your development enough to go out there and do it. But if you're thinking within a year, I'm going to be a superstar, hey, good luck.
It'll pay the bills in a year?
It'll pay the bills in a year. I don't think so. You got to have, and Dubai isn't, it's not cheap. So you do want to have realistic expectations of when you make it enough. You learn to have to do a lot of things yourself, like producing as well, putting together your shows, taking some risks. You might burn some money as an artist as well with gigs. So, I have no, I'm old. The things that the younger guys are doing with TikTok and stuff, I mean, I'm still trying to catch up on that. And I think that, it's a whole job that will take a while to. But there is money here. And, I know what Rushdi said about the scene. There is a lot of growth here, though, in terms of the scene growing. And I think that will be interesting to watch over the next couple of years. Not just Dubai, which is growing a lot. We went from being lucky to perform once a month to there are 3 gigs happening a night sometimes. 3, 4, maybe more. I can't even keep up. So there's that kind of growth. There's exposure. The place has become more friendly with stand-up. And the wider market around India, Saudi, it's all developing. So there's definitely, you do have to learn to be a business person as well, not just an artist.
Oh, no.
Numbers
I agree to disagree.
and there's no
You agrees to disagree.
there's,
Let's hear
there's
it.
no union or
Tasty one.
any of that kind of what's the other words for
Collectives?
and stuff. It doesn't, collectives. It doesn't really exist here with the comics. So we aren't talking to each other about rates and stuff. So actually now that you ask, I'm like, that's a big problem that we have. No one's discussing it. I think a little bit is happening now, and they go, please, try to keep it at these rates and stuff. I stopped doing corporate stand-up for money because I do a lot of improv training to make a buck. And I did enough corporate comedy to go, at this point, it's not adding to my art. And if I separated the money from it. So now I went back to doing stand-up for creating and challenging myself and for myself. And actually on the art form of it more than the money aspect. And I found that balance working for me.
Why do you agree to disagree?
I agree to disagree because there are people who started stand-up who, I don't know how, they got gigs every day, every week, and then they did a special in 2 months.
Yeah.
And now they
right.
don't exist anymore. So kind of, I would ask the person, you say pay the bills, what bills? Where do you live? What are your responsibilities? Because I completely agree with Sal, it's an internship. You gotta go with intern mindset. I'm listening, I'll be the first one there, I'll be the last one there. Doesn't matter if you're 20, doesn't matter if you're 50. If you're in the stand-up scene, your idea is 2 things. You have to connect to the people who are doing it for so long and learn from them, or learn the ropes, like learn how it works. And the second thing is, man, write every day for 1 hour. I'm telling you, I don't do it. All I know is at some point when you have enough experiences, when you have enough heartbreak, when everyone leaves you, you can look at that book and that's where everything will just start making sense because you have no more excuses, tropes. This person doesn't let me, she doesn't let me, he doesn't let me, I'm too tired. Because I've gone days without sleeping because I was writing something. Everyone has gone nights sleepless with worrying about something. I'm telling you, write. Like, just give it to yourself. That book will turn into something important in a year from now. But when the time comes, and I always tell Sal this, we are the best. I'm openly saying it. But if a major corporation, Netflix came and said, can you do a special tomorrow? I'd be like, no. So my thing is being ready for those moments. And also, what moment? Continually develop. Write every day. Every time you get an open mic, take the chance. Go do it badly. Like, just go do it because, like Sal said, experience. What I'm seeing right now is a lot of the same comics over and over and over again, badly trying to execute other things people have done, whether musical, whether character, whether this, whether that. I think everyone has to find their own voice. And as cliche as that is, what I mean is everyone's watching Russell Peters or Bill Burr, or like, those are not people you can be. So you'll have to go out and try. And that's what I think my love, I don't know, man, I'm between improv and stand-up because I love stand-up as well. But improv to me has trained me on listen to the audience, observe them. Because in a country like this, you have to stay connected to your audience. The US is 300 million. You can lose your audience. Over here, I'm not saying you can lose your audience, but at least the audience should know where you're coming from. Because if they don't like you and you're like me, you'll still be there next year. And they'll see you again. It's a small region. So I want people to be like, I disagree with this guy, but they will see me next year and they will get where I'm coming from.
It's not an altruistic thing. I think the danger is too many people do come in and go, I'll do 5 gigs and I'll become famous. And that is dangerous. If you get lucky that way, good for you.
Oh yeah, I'm jealous.
Some people have come through content creation.
If you do the right way, let's say I'm going to put a concrete number, I want to make 10,000 dirhams per month. How long will it take if I do it the right way in the region?
Now, sorry Sal, before, how will you make it?
You guys tell me, you're my mentors. So you're
You want
taking me the
10K?
right
I'd
way
be like,
to
get
do
a
it.
job.
No, I would say you...
Quit comedy.
No, not quit comedy. Sorry Sal, don't quit. Because most people here have day jobs. They do comedy on the side.
Is there ever an option where you can make it your primary occupation?
I did for a while. I did. And I actually, there is an option to do it. It would require you to do a lot of producing as well. Unfortunately, that is part and parcel, which is actually good training for you as an artist. It's good to know to produce and stuff. I did make enough money, more than 10,000 per month to survive just on stand-up. but it is a hustle mindset. It is going out and being okay with struggling and just not struggling.
It's not enough to just be good. You have to do a bit more than that.
No, you can do it as good as well. Like if you reach a certain level, you could even do it initially for some time as bad, because you can tell people, I'll do the stand-up for 30 minutes and then suck. Just make sure you take the money before.
As a producer, you need to have performers with you. So you can't do it alone. You can't just keep doing shows alone. It's tiring. You can't market, organize logistics, restaurant, and make sure people come in. So let's say if you're doing it, there are at least 3 or 4 other people with you. So 10,000 becomes 20.
But money-wise,
25.
yeah. I think it is possible. It is possible. And you might reach it quicker than others depending on your business savviness, okay? So how well you can network, how well you can create marketing material quickly for you. You have to do the basics you have to treat yourself as a business, and then you can. Along the way, just don't forget that you have to keep going to R&D, which is what Rushdi's been talking about. Keep producing material to get better at it, because you can get so far fibbing it, or but if you want to survive longer and grow and earn more than just survival money, you need to do all that. And so money-wise, go out. You can absolutely do it. Give yourself some grace time in your job to start building up enough gigs. That's one thing I'd recommend people. You ask for advice. I did it cold turkey, and it was hard. And I look back at it and go, and I think the only thing I would change is that I, ease out of that. So at least start getting used to corporate gigs and stuff before I completely do it. And it's a lifestyle you'll have to choose then. It's not, you're going, particularly stand-up, you're going alone most of the times. And, in this place in a corporate.
You just sit for 2 hours, So
those kind of gigs.
You're just like entertainment. You're just sitting there and waiting. And again, they're not mean, or they have a business and you have a 45-minute slot. You're just sit here, wait. Do you want coffee, tea?
Ups and downs.
Sit, wait.
You'll have to do bad gigs as well. You'll have to. But I also think it sharpened me.
When someone tells you, hey, the crowd is tough, how do you feel?
Now it doesn't affect me as much, because I'm until I don't get up and start performing, I don't make preconceived.
I think this is an improviser mentality, because when you tell other comics that, the crowd is tough, they're like, I'm gonna destroy them. I will break them for my...
I'll fix them.
I'll fix them. We are I know Sal well enough, that's why I wanted to ask as well. I'm I'll find out. Maybe they're cold because of you. When I come, because I've seen him do it 1,000 times. Tough crowd, they'll hate you, there's that, whatever, buzzwords. He goes and he's like, hi. They're already like, and I'm like, it's possible. Don't corrupt people by saying it's a tough audience. Just say, man, have fun. That's the improviser mentality. We never go, hey man, this is gonna be tough. We always go, have fun, break a leg, got your back. And we know we're kind of when internally we're this is a bad audience. But we, as a group, we shake it off and go in.
And I'd be excited for people starting off the stand-up, if you were, I would be it is an exciting time. And I think there will be more avenues created, but you have to do the work for it now. Again, it might, unfortunately, content creation is a big part of marketing yourself. So you gotta put in the work, but you can make money for sure.
I hope this is inspiring for the...
No, don't. You'll take our money.
Yeah.
No,
we want to
take their
remain
money.
the best. Don't.
There's no
Take
money.
their money.
There's no money. There's
Take
no
it
money.
all.
There's no money.
Make the ecosystem richer in Dubai. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I have to ask you what masterpieces you've created with the Lego. What is it?
What's yours?
A train.
It does look like it.
Choo-choo.
Mine is a snail. It's kind of kind of like this turtle snail type thing, and it's as one of my final messages.
We're not
is
wrapping
that-
up yet.
Oh,
Oh,
we're not? Okay, well.
But you can give me a final
But you
I'll
can
give
try
you
it
a
and
me-
we'll see if it works.
One more message is, it's too many people think stand-up or improv is about speed and wit. And I think sometimes you got to remind yourself to
Eat the
pace
snake.
yourself on stage.
You know, Salman, some would say if you have to show the movement, maybe it's not a snail. But you know what?
Oh.
I
I
think
thought it was a rocket
I
ship.
think that's a good.
Then I had this thought and I was
I
like,
think it's good enough. 10,000 points for the snail.
What the?
8,000 points for the train.
I feel like there's
because
some
it didn't
inflation
move
problem.
as
Yeah.
the train would expect. You
See,
made the sounds.
Look at it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like walking.
You know what? Take another
Walking
500
is
points.
literally jumping.
More points.
Stop
for
doing
the snail.
things, Sal. You're getting all the points for just existing.
Last two closing questions.
All right.
minus 500 for blowing.
Oh.
Not allowed
What the?
in this country. Okay. Last two
You said
questions.
it, not
You
us.
should try comedy.
He's infected now.
My life is.
Yeah.
What would you like your legacy to be? How do you want to be remembered?
Whoa. What? Have you
Sal
got my
can go
doctorate
first.
report? What's
Yeah.
going
Sal can go first.
on? My legacy.
That's right.
Oh, I used to think about it. I think I would like people to go, I always had a fun time watching this guy. I think for me, that is the essence. That's the thing that got me more interested in comedy. In the beginning, it was for fun. I'm not, some Gandhi type guy that I'm like, this
He
is,
obviously doesn't
don't love-
fast.
I don't love adulation and all that kind of stuff. But a couple of things that people have said in the beginning of my career really impact. And that was one of the lines we said earlier was, oh, I had a tough week and it came in. Or to see a good role model in terms of people representing us on stage, early days, there weren't many. So for me, my legacy would be that. Yeah.
Exactly like Gandhi.
I want to create at least, 5 people that sort of break the performing arts ethos and norm and all that stuff. Because I'm one of those people. I'll do the wrong thing for too long for too many people.
What is
So,
the ethos that you're bringing?
Anything that has structure to break it more, or absurd, or meta, or like something, anything, dude. I'm just coming from the finance world. I think I'm carrying that trauma of just having to do the same thing over
Boxes.
and over. Yeah, and I'm not against everything else. I'm just like, I want to do an alternative comedy festival where it's music and it's clowning and it's this and it's that. And again, if
So your
10 people
legacy
show
would
up-
be that
alternative. Yeah,
alternative.
like anything that they go. If it was not, if it wasn't for Rushdi, but he was part of that. He caused that problem.
A movement
like,
of sorts. Some
Again,
different
movement
genre.
sounds like absurdist. Like the thing
I
is,
like it.
everyone looks at a painting and goes, "That's Salvador Dali." You know, it's Salvador Dali. Like, so I want to be. I want to try to. I don't know how, but there's 1 or 2 people I can already see and have spoken to, and they're kind of crazy. So I'm like, how do I give them tools to be like, now you go, because they're doing stuff and they're looking at me and going correct, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, do more. Create.
There's the create part. I don't know if every artist has it, but if you're talking about legacy, I think to leave one show that people watch, like Eddie Murphy, like he has these 2 stand-up specials that people still quote and keep as a standard, to the point where even he's frozen to not try stand-up because he's scared of not matching it. I don't want to be frozen like that, but like leave some work that is people go, I'd watch that. Like, it's good. Yeah.
I think you're both on that path. You're definitely making people laugh, smile. Also, while
I'm gonna
watching
go.
your stand-up, I do get the feeling at times you try to move away, because with stand-up as well, there's a certain formula. People walk in, hey, how's the crowd doing? And then there's punchline, setup, punchline, setup. And I've seen a lot of times you play with the audience a bit more. You've done these jokes about like the people in the parking lots asking to park, or like the Arabic commentators.
You get it.
Right? So it's like, you're not following the formula of, there should be a punchline every, 5 seconds. Like, you're creating something a bit more. And
This is the thing. I don't know who's made this stat, but that's what they say. You need a laugh every 8 seconds and all.
I know.
I'm like, the thing is,
I
who's
hate those
calculating
kinda-
this
yeah.
time? And that's what you would tell. It's like telling a child how to play with Lego. You like take one piece and put the
I
other
think
piece
that was
and
one
put
of
the
those-
other
there has to be a yellow
flippant-
piece every 3 moments. Yeah.
No, I think that was a flippant remark by some producer to go, listen, to hire you, I need you to get this.
And
A
they,
joke density.
a
and they
professional
use
does
this, so you
much,
can
yeah.
see people performing going da 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 da
That's
da
it.
da da.
There's almost a rhythm to every sound.
And
right.
when that happens, I just switch off and I'm just like zoned out. I'm thinking about my bills and stuff because I'm like, I can't watch this.
I think these are all good legacies to have. Thank you, Marie, for your contribution as well.
Nice one.
We've solved the age-old riddle today. What happens when a Pakistani, Belgian, and a Sri Lankan walk into a bar, become the best improvisers
The Belgian leave.
in Dubai?
Oh.
The
I
Belgian
thought the
leaves
Belgian's
as
still
well.
at the bar.
Final question for 10,000 points.
All right.
What is the meaning of life?
Wow. Rishi, I'll let you take that one.
It's 10,000 points.
The meaning?
Where's the meaning of
There's
life?
no meaning, bro. There's
That
no
is
meaning.
so...
There's only
Check
art.
your notes.
There's only
I'm
art.
sure you have
What
it.
is? Oh, okay. What?
The one
what?
time where you needed it.
I've used this. It's as simple as slicing bread.
You've used that one before.
I didn't
know
write
you
as
could
many.
repeat.
I think life is a long improvised scene, and you're going to have bad moments in that scene, and you learn to pick it up and go along with it. And that's how I do sometimes see life happening. To me, it's that's what the meaning behind it is, that just do your best and let's see what comes out of it. No one knows the final result of it. And that's like an improv scene.
Whatever you think the meaning of life is, and you decide it, it'll change. Be ready for it.
Marie?
Marie. Oh, great
She's-
point, Marie.
she's
Oh,
still water.
That's the best one.
She's
That's
I didn't
be
even-
as calm as still water.
I didn't even know she spoke Swahili. That's so good.
15,000 points for your answer.
What?
10,000 only for yours.
Ah,
but these are all
I have the
great.
snail.
Only? Oh,
Show us
5,000
What if I
more.
link my answer?
No,
to
no,
the
show it
snail?
move, Sam.
Life
Show
is
it
like
move.
a snail.
And minus.
Plus 3,000.
Minus.
Oh.
He moved it. You said before. This
No,
is
he said, don't
consistent.
blow it. Don't-
This is like politics in subcontinent Asia, man.
I like all those answers. Rushdi, Salman, if people wish to connect with you, find out more about you or your next shows, what is the best way to find you, connect with you?
Apparently, I have an Instagram account.
Apparently.
It's at
It's
Salman.
rumored.
yeah. I keep dipping in and out. But yeah, that is where I post everything, shows, and if you want to drop a message and whatever. Yeah.
I'd say Rushdi Rafeek, Instagram. Let me know if you want to be an artist, if you want to rob someone, if you want to do something. I'm open to anything.
See, life is improv.
Anything. He's open to anything.
Anything to be emailed to me. From there, we'll have to.
Okay, multiple ways to find you guys. Thank you so much for your time.
My
This was an
pleasure,
honor
man.
for me. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's a
Absolutely,
real
thanks.
pleasure. Thank you. I enjoyed this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't care whether you enjoyed this episode or
We
not.
don't.
You are going to,
Subscribe,
yes,
like,
and
Patreon,
is where you pay your money.
Facebook follow.
All right, you better.
You knock on our doors.
You think you're watching us? We're watching you.
We know where you live.
Yes.
And we hope
Do
you know where
Yes.
we live so that you can give us the money.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
you
it
show
goes
your
to his
support.
podcast,
It's
not-
not us.
Yeah.
That's also
He's
kind
getting
of
the money?
concerning.
I thought
You
we'd get something.
Pay him the money. And yeah,
Fine.
we'll figure a way how to get our commission. But
Yes.
you better. Okay.
Yes, better.
Better. We get you. We know you. Mom.